Tonight and every night here on ENCA, a variety of different newsmakers will get on their chance to host this program, interview people with whom we disagree, and give you a chance to get involved in the conversation. Unfiltered, accountable, and accessible. And it all starts now. The issue I would like to tackle tonight is what is an issue that South Africa's land reform policy. What is our South African land policy? What it entails? We have all seen, heard the hashtags, hashtag bring back the land. I will also unpack why we are here, how we have gotten to where we are, and how we can achieve redress, and how the majority of South Africans could be beneficiaries. The reason I chose to study law in the first place was my fascination about the apartheid spatial planning, how it came to be, and how the law may be a vessel for change and equality. I did my LLB dissertation on comparing the Lancaster Agreement in Zimbabwe with Section 25 of the South African Constitution. I later developed a practice focusing on restitution and land reform, acting on behalf of landowners, funders, banks, mines, land claimants, and communities. 24 years after a constitution, however, and despite it being an enabling document, we sit here still grappling with it as an elusive concept. So let's have it out and get to the bottom of our land reform policy and debate the pros and cons of expropriation without compensation, and if indeed amending the Section 25 is the magic bullet. But we also want to get involved in want you to get involved in the conversation. Here's how.
Tweet us at ENCA using the hashtag LHIO. Call us on 011-759-6340 or send us a WhatsApp or WhatsApp video on 082-884-6370. And make sure those videos are no longer than 30 seconds, please.
My guest tonight is Rendani Siddiqui. She's the Acting Director General in the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform, which is a strategic and important department in this area. Welcome, Rendani.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
To start off with our discussion, expropriation without compensation, what is the department's stance on this? We've heard from all walks of life, from NGOs, from churches, from politicians. I would like to know, what is the department's stance on the whole concept of expropriation without compensation?
Well, the department does not have a stance. We all know that there's currently a parliamentary review process where they're doing consultations with the general public on whether the Section 25 should be amended to provide for expropriation without compensation. So we will be taking cue from whatever the decision or the outcome would be of the current parliamentary review process. Yes.
Without obviously preempting what that parliamentary process will end up with, you know, whether or not the decision is made to amend or not to amend Section 25 of the Constitution, do you believe that it will be the magic bullet? In other words, if it comes out to the wash that there is going to be an amendment, do you believe that that will resolve all the issues dealing with land reform in our country?
I would rather look at the current processes that we have, because it's not as if the Constitution does not allow us to expropriate. It does allow us to expropriate. In fact, we do expropriation, and we have been doing expropriation as provided for by the Section 25 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So we cannot, I think it would be inadequate for us to preempt. Of course, if you look at the process of land reform, because of the current constitutional provisions, it has been very slow. So I would rather not really comment on whether or not it would be a bullet. We would rather allow the process and let the nation speak for themselves. What would they want that should be provided for by the Constitution, whether we do amend or do not amend. I think let's allow for that process.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Just to move the debate a little bit further, let's start off with an intro, and that one that says, our constitutional land reform framework is made up of 3 facets.
Yes.
We know that there's restitution, security reform, and also redistribution.
Yes.
Starting with restitution, which has been at the heart of your department's work, where can you pinpoint to us where the successes have been and where the failures have been?
Well, maybe I should start with the successes. We know that in 1998, 31 December, we closed off the application process, and then we started the restituting. Up to so far, we have restituted over 80,000 claims, and we have spent just over 40 billion on that, either on financial compensation or land acquisition for restitution purposes. That we have seen quite a lot of success around it. But we have also had a whole lot of setbacks, more especially with where there is, the owners of the land do not want to release the land for restitution purposes. It drags out the process. It becomes too long and too protracted, and you then get communities that are impatient. And I think equally so, because it's been 25 years that we've been doing this. We then have communities that would have their own disagreements, and that also protracts trying to settle them. Others do not agree in terms of the model of restitution, others wanting land, others wanting financial compensation. So those consulting processes do at most of the time cause the delay. I think we're almost there in terms of the old claims, but the slow process has not been too desirable for us.
Please hold that thought. Let us take a commercial break at this point. We will be right back.